Hello, my fellow animal lovers. How are you today? Before I ferry you to dreamland, if you love the content and you love animals, I encourage you to show your support by subscribing. By the way, tell us where you are in the world in the comments section. What time do you like watching our channel? I look forward to reading all your comments. Enjoy. Chapter 1: The Quiet Land and the Unseen Call. As the fiery sphere of gold that governs the African savanna dips below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of amber and violet, a profound transformation begins. It is a liminal time, a sacred cusp between the blazing clarity of day and the deep enveloping mystery of night. The fierce heat of the sun, which once baked the earth and shimmered above the vast plains, now waves its final magnificent goodbye, yielding its reign to a gentle coolness that begins to permeate the air. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, a dark blanket is draped across the boundless sky, gradually revealing the first pinpricks of distant stars. This descent into twilight brings with it an apparent quieting of the world, a deep breath taken by the vast landscape. The vibrant, boisterous chorus of diurnal birds, such as orioles, hornbills, and doves, that filled the daytime air, begins to subside, their liquid calls and busy chirps softening into a fading symphony. Yet this perceived silence is but a veil, a tender illusion drawn over a world teeming with unseen activity. Below the settling dust and the rustling grasses, a different kind of life awakens, and with it a hidden language stirs. The air itself, no longer vibrating with the intense, high-frequency sounds of midday, shifts to carry subtler messages. As the birdsong dwindles, a thicker insect chorus begins to rise, a ceaseless murmuring hum that forms the new sonic backdrop, occasionally punctuated by the croaking of frogs emerging from their damp refuges. Even the nocturnal predators, like the hyenas, begin their long-distance calls, their whoops and howls traveling far in the dry air, though these are not the focus of this quiet internal world. This is a world that invites a deeper mode of perception, urging us to move beyond the superficial and to truly feel the pulse of life that persists beneath the surface of silence. It was into such a world of nuanced perception that Catherine Katy Payne, a remarkable acoustic biologist, stepped in 1984. Having spent 15 years deciphering the complex evolving songs of humpback whales, a realm of sound equally rich and profound, she turned her curious gaze towards elephants. Her journey brought her to the Washington Park Zoo, now known as the Oregon Zoo, in Portland, Oregon, where she dedicated a week to observing and listening to its Asian elephants. She was searching for their hidden language, a form of communication that might echo the deep, low-frequency sounds she had studied in whales. During her intensive observations, something extraordinary transpired, not through her ears, but through her very being. As she watched the elephants, particularly a female and a male, separated by a concrete wall, she would occasionally experience a peculiar physical sensation, a profound thrumming vibration in the air. It was a feeling akin to distant thunder, a powerful resonant tremor, yet there was no audible roar or crack, no loud sound at all, just throbbing and then nothing, she would later recount. This tactile sensation was distinct and unmistakable, a deep shuddering that bypassed her auditory canals and resonated directly within her body. It reminded her of a past experience, a vivid memory of feeling the lowest bass notes of a church organ sound so deep they bordered on the inaudible, yet their immense power was undeniably felt as a physical presence. This thrumming vibration was the spark of a monumental discovery. Katy Payne, along with her colleagues William Langbauer and Elizabeth Thomas, hypothesized that elephants were communicating using infrasound, frequencies below the threshold of human hearing, typically defined as anything below 20 hertz. While humans can usually perceive sounds ranging from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, this range narrows with age, and our ability to hear lower frequencies is less sensitive. Elephants, however, possess an astonishing auditory range, capable of detecting sounds as low as 1 hertz, far beyond what our ears can consciously register. Their infrasonic calls typically range between 14 to 35 hertz. The physical sensation Katy Payne experienced was indeed her body reacting to these powerful, low frequency sound waves. Infrasound, though inaudible, can penetrate air and solid materials, traveling vast distances and even passing through physical obstacles like walls or terrain. When sufficiently intense, it can be perceived by humans not as sound, but as a pressure or vibration in the chest, a feeling of unease, or even subtle physiological responses like dizziness or difficulty concentrating. These waves possess longer wavelengths, which allows them to bypass or diffract around obstacles more easily than higher frequency sounds, losing less energy to heat or absorption over distance. This inherent characteristic makes infrasound an ideal medium for long distance communication in vast open landscapes like the savanna, or even through dense forests, where higher frequency sounds would quickly dissipate. For the elephants, this inaudible thrumming is not a subtle discomfort, but a fundamental mode of perception. Their bodies are exquisitely tuned to these vibrations. Beyond their large ears, which are indeed crucial for audible sounds, and some aspects of infrasound, elephants possess specialized structures that enable them to literally touch sound. Their highly sensitive feet contain vibration sensitive receptors called Pacinian corpuscles, which are also present in humans but are far more developed in elephants. Chapter 2: The Gentle Giant's Exhalation. Following the profound introduction to the unseen realm of sound, our journey now delves deeper, seeking the magnificent source of this inaudible symphony. We turn our focus to the elephant, a creature of quiet power whose very breath holds a hidden language. The script will paint a picture not of a booming, roaring behemoth, but of a gentle giant whose most potent communication arises from a deep, slow exhalation, a sound so fundamentally low it transcends our ordinary hearing. The genesis of an elephant's infrasonic call lies within its colossal anatomy, specifically its larynx, often referred to as the voice box. This ancient organ is a marvel of biological engineering, holding the distinction of being the largest known larynx among all mammals. Imagine a structure that, in an African elephant, can measure approximately 8 centimeters long, and in an Asian elephant, about 7.5 centimeters. Within this impressive vocal apparatus reside the vocal folds, thick, elongated strips of tissue. Unlike the relatively short and compact vocal folds of humans, those of an elephant are considerably longer, thicker, and possess a significantly larger cross sectional area. This sheer scale is the primary anatomical secret behind their ability to produce sounds of such incredibly low frequency. The physical process by which these deep rumbles are generated is remarkably similar to how humans produce speech or song, a mechanism scientifically termed myoelastic aerodynamic, MADE, vibration. It is not, as some earlier theories suggested, a process akin to a cat's purr, which involves active, rapid muscular contractions. Instead, the elephant's vocal folds vibrate passively, set into motion by a controlled stream of air expelled from the lungs. As this powerful exhalation flows over the vocal folds, they oscillate, separating and then touching again in a rhythmic dance, much like a flag fluttering in the wind. The slower the rate of these vibrations, the lower the fundamental frequency of the sound produced. Due to their immense size and inherent looseness, an elephant's vocal folds vibrate at a remarkably slow rate, naturally generating the deep resonant tones of infrasound. This primary sound, the fundamental frequency, is often within the infrasonic range, typically between 14 to 35 Hz, though some calls can be as low as 1 Hz or 5 Hz. These are the frequencies that lie well below the lower limit of human hearing, which is generally around 20 Hz, while the fundamental frequency is largely inaudible to us. An elephant's rumble is a complex sound, rich with harmonics, multiples of the fundamental frequency. These higher, softer harmonics often fall within the human audible range. Thus, when we perceive a faint, low rumble emanating from an elephant, it is usually these higher frequency components that our ears are able to detect, offering us a mere glimpse into the elephant's full, powerful vocalization. The true depth and power of their communication remain largely beyond our direct auditory grasp, sensed more as a physical presence than a distinct sound. Beyond the larynx, the elephant possesses an elaborate resonant chamber, its entire vocal tract, which acts as an acoustic filter, shaping and amplifying the sounds produced. This chamber includes the mouth, tongue, and uniquely, the lengthy trunk. The trunk, stretching up to 6 feet, provides an additional flexible filtering mechanism, allowing elephants to concentrate sound energy in different parts of the call structure and further lowering the frequency of those concentrated areas. This allows for a wide array of modifications, enabling the elephant to produce different types of rumbles, depending on whether the mouth is open or closed, the head is held high or low, and even the speed and duration of air moving through the trunk. Another fascinating anatomical adaptation is the pharyngeal pouch, a structure unique to elephants, located at the base of the tongue. This pouch, in addition to serving as an emergency water reservoir, appears to play a crucial role in the production of these low frequency calls by further enlarging the resonating chamber and lowering the loosely attached larynx, thus enabling the creation of even deeper notes. As the elephant produces these profound, quiet sounds, subtle visual cues often accompany the unseen energy. One of the most captivating is the gentle fluttering or throbbing of the skin on the elephant's forehead, precisely at the position where the nasal passages enter the skull, just above the eyes. This phenomenon, known as a nasal throb, occurs as air pulsates through the nasal passages during the production of a deep rumble. It is particularly noticeable in large adult males during a must rumble, a distinctive low frequency pulsated call where the vibrations can sometimes be so intense that they dislodge dust from the elephant's forehead, sending it briefly airborne. This subtle rhythmic movement provides a visual indication of the powerful unseen energy being generated within. Another poignant visual cue is the movement of their ears. While elephants often hold their large ears out wide and perfectly still when they are actively listening, using them as broad, sensitive receivers to capture even the faintest airborne vibrations, they may also engage in ear waving during vocalization. This pulsating ear flapping, often associated with specific types of rumbles, offers another subtle clue to an observer that an elephant is indeed communicating, even when no sound is perceptible to human ears. These quiet, deliberate movements underscore the idea of quiet focus, a deep engagement with their environment and fellow creatures that transcends the limitations of our own senses. This exploration of the elephant's sound production reframes our perception of this magnificent creature. Far from being merely a source of loud trumpets or roars, sounds typically associated with excitement, distress, or aggression, the elephant emerges as a master of profound, quiet communication. The fact that its most powerful and far reaching sound is one that we cannot hear directly reinforces the script's core concept, a world that is active, powerful, and deeply interconnected, yet utterly serene. It invites us to consider the richness of a sensory world that exists just beyond our own, a world where strength is expressed not through volume, but through depth and resonance, linking the animal directly to the concept of peaceful, foundational awareness. This silent strength, born from deep exhalation and the subtle dance of vocal folds, sets a tone of peaceful grandeur, inviting the listener to relax into the comforting presence of these gentle giants and the hidden hum of their world. Chapter 3: The Earth as a Silent Partner. From the invisible currents of the air, our gentle journey now shifts downwards, anchoring itself to the very bedrock beneath our feet. This chapter explores a profound and deeply grounding aspect of elephant communication, how their low frequency calls are transmitted not merely through the atmosphere, but as a physical vibration, a subtle tremor through the vast living tapestry of the earth itself. This phenomenon, known as seismic communication, transforms the ground beneath the savanna into a silent, responsive partner, a receptive medium that whispers back to the elephants, carrying messages across distances that audible sound often cannot span. Imagine the earth not as a static, inert surface, but as a vast, resonant drum, constantly humming with the subtle movements of life. When an elephant vocalizes its deep infrasonic rumble, this powerful sound energy isn't confined to the air alone. A replica of the airborne sound, especially its low frequency components, typically between 10 and 40 hertz, which aligns perfectly with the most efficient range for seismic energy transmission, is simultaneously coupled with the ground. These ground-borne vibrations propagate as seismic waves, specifically a type known as Rayleigh waves, which travel along the Earth's surface. Picture them as gentle, rolling waves, akin to those that ripple across the surface of water after a stone is dropped, or perhaps even resembling the imperceptible tremors of a distant quiet quake. Unlike the faster airborne sound waves, which travel around 309 to 300 meters per second, these seismic signals move at a slightly slower pace through the ground, approximately 248 to 264 meters per second. However, what they lack in speed, they gain in reach and reliability. They are less susceptible to environmental interference from dense vegetation or atmospheric conditions, allowing them to travel farther and with greater consistency than their aerial counterparts. Elephants are uniquely adapted to both generate and detect these subtle ground whispers. Their immense size and powerful vocalizations inherently produce significant seismic disturbances. Even the act of an elephant walking sends distinct seismic signals through the soil. A fast walk or a foot stomp, for instance, generates vibrations that are detectable over many kilometers. Researchers have found that the forces generated by an elephant's vocal rumbling can even be comparable to, or in some cases stronger than, those produced by a fast walk, enabling these vocal seismic waves to travel significant distances. Under favorable conditions, these seismic vocalizations can journey up to 16 kilometers through the solid earth, while the seismic waves generated by a powerful foot stomp or mock charge have been modeled to travel an astonishing 32 kilometers, 20 miles. But how does a creature as grand as an elephant feel these subtle subterranean messages? The answer lies in their specialized structures, particularly their magnificent feet and the highly sensitive tip of their trunk. The elephant's foot is a marvel of sensory design. Unlike the hard hooves of many other large mammals, an elephant's foot is large, heavily padded, and covered in soft skin. Within these substantial cushion pads, known as digital cushions, lie cartilaginous nodes and a rich network of nerves and specialized sensory cells called Pacinian corpuscles. These mechanoreceptors are remarkably sensitive to vibrations, capable of detecting minute movements and pressure changes. They are densely concentrated in specific areas of the foot, particularly the anterior front and posterior heel regions, forming clusters that are exquisitely tuned to pick up seismic signals. When an elephant senses a distant vibration, it often exhibits what researchers call freezing behavior. It stops, leans forward, and places more weight on its larger front feet. This posture serves to maximize the contact with the ground and enhance the stimulation of the Pacinian corpuscles within its feet, effectively turning its body into a giant, living seismograph. The vibrations travel from the ground through these sensitive foot pads and then up through the dense bones of the legs and shoulders directly to the inner ear, a process known as bone conduction. Simultaneously, the Pacinian corpuscles in the foot transmit signals to the somatosensory cortex of the brain, a distinct pathway of tactile perception. The tip of the elephant's trunk is also densely packed with these sensitive Pacinian and Meissner corpuscles, allowing an elephant to use its trunk, when pressed to the ground, as an additional, highly precise receiver for these subtle seismic pulses. This dual system of detection, bone conduction to the ear, and direct somatosensory perception through the feet and trunk, allows elephants to hear with their entire body, experiencing the earth's vibrations as a profound tactile sensation. They can orient themselves towards the source of these vibrations, discerning direction and even distance based on the differential arrival times of the seismic waves at their various legs and ears. Research by Caitlin O'Connell and her colleagues has conclusively demonstrated that elephants not only detect these seismic signals, but also interpret and respond to them appropriately, differentiating between various types of calls, such as alarm calls from familiar versus unfamiliar groups. The narrative of seismic communication transforms a scientific concept into a deeply grounding and reassuring image. The ground is not merely a static surface, but an active participant in a silent conversation, a living, receptive medium that pulses with the quiet intentions of these magnificent creatures. The rhythmic, purposeful interaction between creature and landscape, where the very act of walking sends a message through the soil and a rumble resonates deep within the earth, evokes a powerful sense of deep stability and connection. As the listener imagines these unseen waves rolling gently beneath them, carrying messages of presence and peace, it fosters a profound sense of rootedness and belonging. It is a world where the earth itself becomes a comforting, unwavering presence, an ancient pulse that connects everything everywhere, creating a sense of profound calm perfectly conducive to drifting into tranquil sleep. Chapter 4: The Shared Language of the Deep. Our journey through the world of unseen sound now expands beyond the savanna, revealing a profound and ancient truth. The elephant's infrasonic language is not an isolated marvel, but part of a wider planetary conversation, a shared language of the deep that connects diverse creatures across the earth. This chapter invites us to consider a parallel network of silent communication, a hidden chorus that hums beneath the surface of the audible world. weaving a tapestry of connection across land and sea. Indeed, the ability to produce and perceive infrasound, frequencies below the human hearing threshold of 20 Hz, is a remarkable adaptation found in a variety of other magnificent animals. Just as elephants utilize these deep rumbles to navigate their vast savanna homes, other species have evolved similar capabilities, each uniquely suited to their specific habitats and social structures. These include the colossal baleen whales of the ocean, the sturdy rhinoceros, the amphibious hippopotamus, and even the towering giraffe, alongside other less commonly known infrasound users like alligators and okapis. Let us first plunge into the vast, dark expanse of the ocean, where the majestic baleen whales orchestrate some of the most powerful and far reaching infrasonic concerts on Earth. Species such as the blue whale, fin whale, and humpback whale produce incredibly intense, long, and often patterned sequences of infrasonic sounds, with fundamental frequencies ranging from as low as 10 to 15 Hz to 20 to 100 Hz. These magnificent creatures, being the largest animals on the planet, possess sound production systems capable of generating wavelengths so long and frequencies so low that they are perfectly optimized for very long range propagation in the deep ocean. Their calls can travel hundreds and sometimes even thousands of kilometers, effectively spanning entire ocean basins. This profound, low frequency communication is vital for these highly social and migratory giants, enabling them to maintain contact with one another across immense distances, coordinate their movements during annual migrations, locate mates in dispersed breeding grounds, find rich feeding areas, and generally navigate their vast aquatic world. The sheer power of these vocalizations means that baleen whales are considered among the loudest animals on Earth, yet much of their most crucial communication remains inaudible to human ears, a silent symphony playing out beneath the waves. Returning to the terrestrial realm, we encounter the rhinoceros, a creature of formidable presence that, much like the elephant, relies on infrasound for critical aspects of its social life. Rhinos, including species like the Sumatran rhinoceros, vocalize across a wide frequency spectrum from as low as 5 Hz up to 8 kHz, with significant infrasonic components. Researchers, including Elizabeth von Muggenthaler, discovered that some rhinoceros sounds are infrasonic, including powerful and resonant calls like the whistle blow of the Sumatran rhino, which has been observed to cause 7-inch iron bars to resonate and can carry up to 12 miles in their dense natural habitats. Scientists hypothesize that rhinos developed this adaptation precisely because infrasonic frequencies travel more easily through the thick vegetation that often characterizes their environments, allowing them to keep tabs on one another despite visual obstructions. Rhinos also engage in a form of seismic communication, stomping their hooves and listening to the ground vibrations, suggesting a keen sensitivity to these subterranean signals. Their low frequency calls are used for territorial marking and, importantly, for mating communication, allowing individuals to signal their presence and receptiveness across distances. Next, we journey to the waterways of Africa to observe the hippopotamus, a creature renowned for its distinctive bellows and grunts, but equally fascinating for its use of infrasound. Hippos are unique in their ability to produce powerful infrasonic vocalizations that can travel extensively through both air and water. This amphibious communication is a crucial adaptation for a species that spends much of its life submerged. Their specialized vocal cords and nasal passages allow them to generate deep vibrations, enabling them to communicate effectively even when their heads are underwater. Their well developed auditory systems are capable of detecting these infrasound vibrations in the water, providing a vital means of maintaining contact, coordinating movements, and conveying messages within their aquatic environment, where both visibility and audible range are often severely limited. Observers have noted that hippos often engage in chorusing, with bellows and other sounds from one group being answered by herds located kilometers downstream, a testament to the far reaching nature of their low frequency calls. Even the seemingly silent giraffe, with its towering presence and famously long neck, has been discovered to participate in this infrasonic network. For many years, giraffes were thought to be largely mute, a perception understandable given the challenge of producing loud sounds through a 13-foot long trachea. However, meticulous research has revealed that giraffes do indeed vocalize, and some of these sounds are infrasonic. Studies have identified infrasonic vocalizations with dominant frequencies between 20 to 40 hertz, produced during behaviors like neck stretches or head throws, possibly through a mechanism known as Helmholtz resonance. More recently, researchers have discovered that giraffes quietly hum to each other throughout the night, producing sounds that, while audible to humans, around 92 hertz, exist on the very low end of our hearing spectrum and likely serve crucial communicative functions when visual cues are obscured by darkness. This low frequency communication is thought to be vital for maintaining contact within their loose social groups and coordinating movements across the vast savanna, particularly during the night or in denser vegetation, mirroring the communicative needs of elephants. What unites these diverse species, the leviathans of the deep, the armored rhinos, the river dwelling hippos, and the lofty giraffes, with the savanna elephants, is the fundamental principle that low frequency sounds possess superior propagation characteristics. Chapter 5: The Atmosphere's Gentle Embrace. Our exploration of the unseen world now turns its gaze to the very air that surrounds us, revealing how the environment itself orchestrates a profound and beautiful dance, profoundly influencing the elephant's quiet communication. This chapter unveils a technical concept, temperature inversion, and reframes it as a natural wonder, a gentle, invisible ceiling formed by the night air, transforming the vast savanna into an expansive, silent amphitheater for elephant whispers. First, let us gently remind ourselves of a fundamental principle of sound. Low frequency sounds, with their longer wavelengths, possess an inherent advantage in traversing landscapes. Unlike their higher frequency counterparts, which are easily scattered and absorbed by physical obstacles like dense vegetation, tree trunks, and foliage, low frequency sounds are more akin to persistent rolling waves. They can pass through or diffract around these barriers with remarkable ease, losing less energy and traveling farther. Character. This characteristic is particularly crucial in environments like dense forests, where the intricate network of leaves and branches would quickly attenuate and dissipate high frequency calls, leaving a silence that might isolate smaller, higher pitched communicators. Even the porous forest floor, with its layers of soft soil and decaying matter, contributes to the absorption of some lower to middle frequencies. yet the resilience of true infrasound remains remarkable. Now, as the African savanna gracefully transitions from the vibrant heat of day to the cooler embrace of night, a unique atmospheric phenomena often begins to form, a temperature inversion. Picture the sun dipping below the horizon, and the ground, having absorbed the day's warmth, begins to radiate its heat back into space, cooling rapidly. The air directly in contact with this cooling ground also becomes cool and dense. However, the air a little higher up, less affected by the immediate ground cooling, retains its warmth. This creates an inverted temperature gradient where a layer of cooler air is trapped near the surface beneath a layer of warmer air aloft. This is particularly prevalent on clear, calm nights with little wind, as these conditions allow the ground to cool efficiently without extensive atmospheric mixing. It is a sandwich effect, a natural layering of the atmosphere that has profound implications for sound. This cool night air, rising to meet the warmer layer above, creates a gentle, invisible ceiling, a boundary where the speed of sound changes. Sound travels faster in warmer air because the air molecules have more energy and can transmit vibrations more efficiently. Conversely, sound moves slower in cooler air. In a temperature inversion, as elephant rumbles travel upwards from the cooler surface layer into the warmer air above, they encounter a medium where their speed increases. This change in speed causes the sound waves to bend or refract downwards back towards the cooler air near the ground. It's like light bending when it passes through water, only here the bending is guiding sound back to Earth. This repeated refraction effectively traps the low frequency sound waves, bouncing them between the ground and the warm atmospheric layer, forming what is sometimes referred to as a sound duct. The impact of this atmospheric embrace on elephant communication is nothing short of miraculous. This natural acoustic channeling dramatically increases the range and clarity of their infrasonic messages. Under normal daytime conditions, the upward refraction of sound waves, as warm air rises from the heated ground, might limit their communication range. However, with the formation of a temperature inversion on a cool savanna night, the propagation of low frequency sound is profoundly enhanced. Computer modeling and field studies have shown that this phenomenon can amplify the range of elephant calls considerably. What might be a communication range of roughly 30 square kilometers during the day can, under these optimal nocturnal conditions, expand tenfold to an astonishing 300 square kilometers. The overall area reachable by their calls can more than double, with ranges exceeding 10 kilometers being likely, particularly for the lowest frequencies. These optimum conditions, often occurring 1 to 2 hours after sunset on clear, calm nights, are precisely when savanna elephants frequently maximize their long range and low frequency calling rates, seemingly adapting their vocalizations to leverage this environmental advantage. This recontextualizes a scientific fact as a protective and guiding force. The cool night air is not an obstacle, but an active participant in the conversation, extending the reach of elephant voices, helping scattered herds find one another. The infrasonic rumble, amplified and directed by this atmospheric phenomenon, becomes an invisible guidance system, a sonic beacon that pulsates through the night. While the term sonic beacon is often applied to man-made devices used for navigation or signaling, in this context, it beautifully captures the essence of the elephant's infrasound. It acts as an organic, living signal, silently guiding herds to coordinate their movements, enabling individuals to locate family members or potential mates across vast distances, and fostering a pervasive sense of connection without any of the tension or urgency of a conventional journey. The image is one of profound serenity. The vast, star-dusted savanna, seemingly quiet, is actually alive with these unseen, earth-hugging sound waves, softly carrying messages of presence and belonging. The atmosphere, instead of dissipating sound, gently embraces it, ensuring that even the most subtle whisper from a distant elephant can travel far, maintaining the vital social bonds that define their existence. This phenomenon ensures that even as the listener drifts into slumber, the world around them, guided by nature's subtle hand, remains a place of deep interconnected peace. Chapter 6: The Quiet Vocabulary. In the vast, interconnected world of the elephant, communication extends far beyond the human ear, blossoming into a quiet vocabulary of low frequency rumbles that weave a tapestry of social cohesion, reassurance, and gentle coordination. This chapter will delve into the specific purposes of these infrasonic messages, carefully curating the information to focus exclusively on the tender, non urgent aspects of their daily lives, offering a soothing narrative for the listener. The absence of dramatic calls, such as those related to danger, aggression, or the intense period of must, is a deliberate choice to maintain the serene and tranquil tone, emphasizing peace and connection. One of the most frequently observed and deeply reassuring infrasonic calls is the "let's go" rumble. This soft yet insistent signal serves as a gentle proposition, an unhurried invitation from a lead elephant to the rest of the herd. I want to go this direction. Let's go together. Traditionally, this call was primarily associated with the matriarch, the wise and experienced female leader, guiding her family group to a new foraging ground or a distant water hole. However, recent groundbreaking research has also documented senior and dominant male elephants utilizing similar "let's go" rumbles to signal group departures, particularly from shared resources like water holes. This suggests a learned behavior, with males likely acquiring this nuanced communication from the female leaders during their formative years. The "let's go" rumble is characterized by its moderately loud, relatively flat, and tonal quality, often sustained for a duration of approximately 4.5 to 6.5 seconds, all at a subtly low pitch. It is often accompanied by distinct visual cues that reinforce the message, such as rhythmic ear flapping, a subtle body axis pointing in the desired direction of travel, and even intention movements like foot swinging or a patient waiting behavior. The initiating elephant may repeat this gentle appeal once every minute or so, sometimes for periods extending up to half an hour, patiently persuading others to join the impending movement. While it can be a solo endeavor seeking consensus, other individuals within the group may join in, creating a harmonious, turn taking pattern that researchers have likened to a barbershop quartet, a subtle chorus of unified intent. This gentle coordination ensures that the herd moves as a cohesive unit, a silent agreement rippling through the land. Equally tender and vital are the greeting rumbles. These are soft tonal exchanges of medium duration, typically lasting between 2.5 to 4 seconds, emitted by adult female elephants when members of a family group reunite after having been separated for hours. Imagine the quiet joy of reunion after a period of foraging apart. One elephant, often an older female, approaches another, usually younger, with a soft rumble. The receiving elephant responds with head raising, ear lifting, and sometimes backing towards the approaching individual, often emitting a softer, more noisy rumble in return. These interactions are frequently accompanied by affectionate gestures, such as social rubbing, gentle trunk to mouth touching, or entwining trunks, reinforcing the strong bonds within the herd. The greeting rumble is a quiet affirmation, a way of saying, "Hello, it's good to be near you again," or "You are important to me," strengthening familial ties and expressing contentment. The most commonly recorded greeting often involves this low rumble, coupled with ear flapping, a visible sign of their deep engagement. When individuals are separated by greater distances, perhaps up to 2 kilometers, 1.2 miles across the savanna, a different but equally reassuring dialogue unfolds: the contact call and contact answer. The contact call is a soft, unmodulated infrasonic sound made by an elephant seeking to reestablish connection with its group or another individual. It is a question whispered across the unseen air and earth: "Are you there?" In response, another elephant will emit a contact answer, a rumble that starts audibly louder but gently softens towards its conclusion, signaling, "I am here." This quiet exchange allows elephants to locate distant family members, ensuring that no one is truly lost. A continuous, low stakes conversation of presence and reassurance that underpins the stability of their social structure. Perhaps the most profound and intimate revelation about elephant communication is the groundbreaking research published in 2024, suggesting that elephants may even use personal names for each other. This astonishing discovery, made possible through machine learning analysis of hundreds of elephant calls, indicates a level of cognitive sophistication rarely seen in the wild. Researchers observed that elephants responded more strongly and immediately to calls that included their specific names when played back, largely disregarding messages not intended for them. This capacity to use individual, arbitrary labels for each other implies advanced vocal learning and an intricate understanding of social identity. Some scientists even postulate that if the let's go rumbles can be considered verbs of movement, then the use of personal names represents nouns, hinting at the possibility of a rudimentary syntax, a true language of deep silent whispers. This infrasound is not just a sound, it is a language with a rich vocabulary of peace. It is a conversation about reunion, security, and gentle reassurance. The deliberate exclusion of more agitated or urgent calls, such as trumpets signaling distress or aggression, or the powerful pulsated must rumbles associated with male dominance and sexual arousal, ensures that the narrative remains focused solely on tranquility. The knowledge that elephants are engaged in such profound and intimate, yet utterly serene, communications creates the perfect backdrop for a sleep script. It allows the listener to feel enfolded in a world of gentle connection, where every unseen vibration carries a message of belonging and quiet understanding, guiding them peacefully towards a restful slumber. Chapter 7: The Unseen Network. This chapter represents a spiraling turn, drawing together all the previous themes into a cohesive, tranquil image. The African savanna, bathed in the soft glow of twilight, is not merely a quiet land, but a vast living canvas woven with an unseen network of sound. It is a world where distance is no barrier to connection, and silence is merely an invitation to perceive a deeper, more profound hum of existence. We return to the central feeling of the vibration, describing a landscape where groups can be separated by great distances, yet remain in constant, silent communication, bound by an invisible web of intentions and thoughts. Recall the gentle giant's deep exhalation, the infrasonic rumble that is born from its colossal larynx and vocal folds. These low frequency sounds, typically ranging between 14 to 35 hertz, are well below the human hearing threshold of 20 hertz, with elephants capable of perceiving frequencies as low as 1 hertz. What our ears cannot grasp, our bodies, and indeed the elephant's entire being, can feel as a thrumming vibration, a subtle pulsation in the air. This fundamental sensation, so central to Katy Payne's initial discovery, is the very anchor of this unseen network, a constant, pervasive presence that underpins all communication. These powerful low frequency rumbles possess extraordinary propagation capabilities. Through the air, they can travel for several kilometers, under ideal conditions, extending up to an impressive 10 kilometers, 6 miles. But the network extends beyond the atmosphere, delving into the very earth itself. Elephant vocalizations and even their movements generate seismic waves, gentle tremors that ripple through the ground. These ground-borne signals are picked up by the elephant's exquisitely sensitive feet and trunks, equipped with specialized mechanoreceptors. Seismic communication, often more reliable than airborne transmission in certain conditions, can carry messages over even greater distances, with vocal seismic signals traveling up to 2.2 kilometers and the vibrations from powerful foot stomps or mock charges reaching an astonishing 32 kilometers, 20 miles. Furthermore, this unseen network is dynamically enhanced by the environment itself. As the cool air settles over the savanna at night, forming a temperature inversion, a natural sound duct is created. This atmospheric phenomenon acts as a benevolent ceiling, refracting the low frequency sound waves downwards, effectively bouncing them between the ground and the warmer air layer above. This natural amplification can dramatically increase the elephant's communication range tenfold, transforming a daytime listening area of approximately 30 square kilometers to an expansive 300 square kilometers under optimal nocturnal conditions. It is no coincidence that elephants often maximize their low frequency calling rates during these hours, leveraging nature's own design to extend their voices across the quiet landscape. Within this vast, vibrating tapestry, the specific calls we explored earlier take on new significance, forming the threads of this intricate network of quiet intentions. The let's go rumble, whether from a matriarch or a dominant male, is a gentle proposal of collective movement, a silent agreement unfolding across miles. The greeting rumble signifies the warmth of reunion, a low thrum of affirmation between family members who have found each other across the expanse. The contact call and its soft contact answer form a continuous, reassuring dialogue, a gentle inquiry of "Are you there?" and a comforting reply of "I am here," bridging distances with invisible threads of sound. And now, with the understanding that elephants may even use personal names to address one another, this network gains a profound layer of intimacy, each individual recognized and connected by a unique, unseen vibration. The image that emerges is one of a wide, invisible web of sound, a resonant field of communication that blankets the entire landscape. Elephants, dispersed across many miles, are not truly alone. They are in constant silent communion, their shared thoughts and non urgent intentions flowing effortlessly through the air and earth. Young elephants learn to recognize the distinct infrasonic signatures of their family members, contributing to the remarkable social cohesion of these magnificent societies. This web of sound holds entire communities together, enabling them to maintain contact, coordinate movements, and preserve their intricate social hierarchy, even when visual contact is impossible. The constant presence of this low hum, this foundational vibration, is more than just a scientific fact, it is a comforting truth. It reminds the listener that even in quiet solitude, a profound and peaceful web of connection exists, not just among elephants, but within the very fabric of the world. As the mind settles, this gentle cumulative sense of wonder strengthens the hypnotic effect of the narrative. It offers a stable, beautiful image to rest upon, an interconnected world, active and powerful, yet utterly serene, where the unseen vibrations of life weave a soothing lullaby across the silent land. The listener is invited to feel themselves as a part of this ancient, peaceful network, gently cradled by its unseen pulse. Chapter 8: The Ancestral Lullaby. Our journey through the unseen world of sound now reaches its most expansive horizon, connecting the elephant's subtle rumble to the foundational rhythms of the earth itself. This chapter broadens the script's scope once more, revealing that the elephant's infrasonic calls are not merely a biological function, but an integral part of a much older, deeper planetary chorus, a timeless ancestral lullaby that has echoed across our world for millions of years. The earth, far from being silent, constantly produces its own symphony of inaudible low frequency sounds. These natural phenomena, though immense and powerful, contribute to a pervasive infrasonic background, a quiet hum that transcends the limits of human hearing but is deeply felt and perceived by many creatures. Consider the low, persistent groan of a distant volcano. Volcanic eruptions are among the most powerful natural sources of infrasound on Earth, often emitting sounds in the energetic band of zero point 0.5 to 20 hertz, though these can extend down to fractions of a hertz. Imagine the deep, resonant vibrations emanating from a colossal crater akin to a giant horn or a musical instrument of the planet. The very shape of a volcano's crater can influence the pitch and timbre of its infrasonic emissions. These powerful low frequency waves, generated by rapidly expanding gases and hot material, are so robust that they can travel thousands of kilometers, even circling the Earth multiple times, providing a continuous, subtle acoustic signature of our planet's inner workings. Scientists now harness this volcanic infrasound to detect, locate, characterize, and even quantify eruptions, listening to the deep pulse of the Earth's fiery heart. Then there is the ceaseless, rhythmic hum of a mighty waterfall. Large waterfalls and turbulent whitewater are significant natural generators of infrasound. Envision the sheer force of countless tons of water cascading over cliffs, each droplet and impact creating minute vibrations that coalesce into a powerful, low frequency roar. Studies have revealed that immense waterfalls, such as Niagara Falls, produce a stable and powerful infrasound source, detectable by sensitive instruments over 400 kilometers, 250 miles away. The loudness and pitch of this waterfall infrasound can vary with the volume and flow of the water, a dynamic symphony of falling liquid. Intriguingly, some research suggests that migrating birds may even utilize the consistent infrasound signatures of these natural wonders as navigational beacons, guiding their epic journeys across vast landscapes. Beam 1, now extend your awareness to the boundless ocean swells, a permanent and pervasive source of infrasound that circles the globe. The nonlinear interactions of powerful ocean surface waves, particularly during marine storms, generate constant infrasonic vibrations around zero point 0.2 hertz. These are known as microbaroms, or poetically, the voice of the sea. These subtle yet immensely powerful atmospheric infrasonic waves can propagate for thousands of kilometers through the atmosphere, forming perhaps the biggest natural source of infrasound on Earth. Imagine the deep, rhythmic breathing of the ocean, a massive, slow pulse that resonates globally, a continuous oceanic lullaby, and beneath our very feet, the earth itself continuously emits a profound, almost mystical hum. Scientists, using incredibly sensitive seismic sensors, have detected a soft rhythmic vibration deep within the Earth's crust that is not directly tied to earthquakes or localized surface activity. This pervasive low frequency hum never fully ceases, a constant background music that has been playing for ages. While its precise source remains a subject of ongoing scientific inquiry, with theories ranging from the constant impact of ocean waves against coastlines to the swirling molten iron in the Earth's core, its presence is undeniable. It is the steady, quiet heartbeat of our planet, a continuous, subtle vibration that reminds us of the profound, living nature of the Earth. These diverse natural phenomena, from the deep groans of volcanoes and the rhythmic pulses of waterfalls, to the global hum of ocean swells and the Earth's own continuous vibration, all contribute to a magnificent, low frequency soundscape. Their infrasonic emissions, characterized by long wavelengths, can propagate over vast distances with very little attenuation, traversing geological formations and atmospheric layers alike, allowing them to circle the Earth multiple times. The elephant's call, with its profound infrasonic components, resonates deeply within this greater context. It is not just a biological vocalization, it is a natural, primal rhythm, a part of the Earth's own ancient song. The elephant's rumble joins this vast chorus of the unseen, a timeless, reassuring force that has played out since the beginning of time. This perspective frames the elephant's communication as deeply connected to the planet's own fundamental pulse, a grand continuous lullaby that envelops the world. As the listener embraces this understanding, feeling the deep, subtle vibrations that emanate from the earth and its powerful natural forces, a sense of profound peace and primordial connection washes over them, gently guiding them towards the restorative depths of sleep. The world is a living, breathing entity, and its deepest song is a silent, comforting embrace. Chapter 9: The Final Drift into Deep Sleep. As our journey through the unseen symphony of the world draws to a gentle close, this final chapter invites you to surrender fully to the embrace of deep restorative sleep. We will synthesize all the previous themes, weaving them into a final lulling experience, guiding you gently across the threshold from an engaged passive state to a sleeping non cognitive one. The language will become even more simple, repetitive and deliberate, a soft incantation for slumber. Let your body become heavy now, sinking deeper into the soft surface beneath you. Feel the subtle pull of gravity, a comforting anchor to the earth. Recall the silent blanket of the night that first descended upon the African savanna, transforming the world into a realm of hushed beauty and hidden activity. Just as that vast expanse found its tranquility, so too can your mind and body settle into profound peace. Bring your awareness to the soles of your feet, feeling their contact with the bed, the floor, or whatever supports you. Notice any sensations there, the gentle pressure, a subtle warmth, or perhaps the faintest hint of a low hum, a distant vibration that resonates through the very ground. This is the quiet pulse of the ground, the continuous, unseen heartbeat of the earth that we discovered in Chapter 3, carrying messages of stability and profound connection. Allow this sensation to spread, moving slowly up through your ankles, your calves, and into your knees. Feel your legs growing heavier, softer, releasing any lingering tension with each slow, deliberate breath. Now bring your attention to your hands, resting peacefully at your sides or gently clasped. Notice their weight, their warmth, the delicate sensations within them. Allow your arms to relax, softening from your shoulders all the way to your fingertips. This gentle relaxation flows through your shoulders, releasing any burdens they may carry, letting them melt downwards. Feel your neck and throat softening, the muscles of your jaw releasing their hold, allowing your face to relax into a smooth, untroubled expression. As your body softens, feel yourself becoming part of the vast, invisible web of connection we explored in Chapter 7. Remember the elephants, those gentle giants whose deep rumbles create an unseen network of communication, binding herds across immense distances. Their let's go rumbles, their greeting rumbles, their contact calls and answers, all are threads of peaceful reassurance, a continuous dialogue of presence and belonging, whispered through the air and the earth. Even the profound idea that they might call each other by personal names adds a layer of intimate, quiet understanding to this unseen bond. You are not separate. You are part of this enduring, peaceful tapestry of life. The very essence of these low frequency vibrations, those sounds far below our human hearing, carries a natural power to soothe and calm, just as the subtle rumble from a distant waterfall or the deep pulse of ocean swells forms a part of the earth's ancestral lullaby. So too can these deep frequencies guide your body into a state of profound relaxation. Scientific studies suggest that exposure to such low frequency sounds can induce a state of relaxation, help reduce stress, and even support a faster drift into sleep, stimulating your body's natural rest and digest systems. The feeling of these inaudible vibrations, whether from the elephant's call or the planet's own hum, is a profound invitation to release and rest. Picture the serene atmosphere of the African savanna at dusk, the fierce sphere of gold having waved goodbye, and the dark blanket of night draped across the sky. In this tranquil setting, unseen activity flourishes, connected by these powerful yet gentle vibrations. Feel your body becoming heavier, sinking deeper and deeper, as if merging with the peaceful, unseen vibration of the world around you. Let your breath become slow and even, a gentle tide rising and falling within you. As you continue to relax, allow yourself to simply feel. Feel the weight of your head, the softness of your pillow, the warmth of your blankets. Let your thoughts, if they arise, simply drift by like clouds across the vast savanna sky, without attachment, without judgment. There is nothing left to do, nowhere left to be, but here, now embraced by the gentle, vibrating world. The narrative of this script, much like the subtle infrasound it describes, will now slowly and softly fade out, guiding you from an engaged passive state to a sleeping, non cognitive one. The words will become softer, more spacious, until they too dissolve into the quiet ambient sounds of the savanna, the gentle hum of the unseen network, the soft pulse of the earth, and the timeless ancestral lullaby of our planet. This script is not a destination, but a transition, a tender passage into the profound depths of your own peaceful sleep. Rest now in this quiet, vibrating world. Sleep deeply, sleep peacefully, sleep